Hello everybody, back again. And I'm playing around with Go2-X. And yes, that's one of the new ones for next month for the Explorer 9. So you can see this is still the beta version. I still can see some little issues we have, little bugs. But I'm gonna explain, of course, what is going on. So we have two new products in the Explorer 9. And so yeah, what you see here is the Go2-X. I will explain in a second what is new inside of it. You know, of course, all know, I think, Go2, and you see it did grow, although this Go2 version is the 133%, and this one you see in the background, which is Go2-X, is 150%. So we have a bit more screen sizes. So 100%, 125%, 150%, and 200%. So that's the original one. And of course, I'm gonna explain what it's all new. So this is gonna be a new one, Go2-X. I will explain a bit later on what is new inside of it. Many new cool things to mention. Then, of course, yes, it's gonna be back, and this is the user interface. It's a little bit smaller, but that one is gonna be back as well. The legendary Albino-3. Here it is, and this is still a beta version. You see legend is down here, but that's going to be a little bit different in text and also some fuzzy things here. This is the different user interface sizes we will have. You see it will have 4 sizes, and as you might know from the original one, you can open the 4 layer because it can control 4 layers. So Limplug was so friendly to allow us to purchase the code. Originally, it was a joint venture between Limplug and me. I contacted him many years ago from creating a custom synthesizer, which became the name Albino because albinos are pretty rare, and you see the combination of white with red. And but we departure from each other, yeah. And recently I had contact with him, and he agreed to allow us to purchase the code. So Albino-3 legend is now in the whole catalog of the Papen products. It has its own sound, and that makes it, of course, at that time it was a legendary product. It has the option to even stack 4 layers, and you could edit each layer. You see here is the edit screen. And it's still the original sound you get. It's only also VST3. It will work on your newer OS, and it will have, as you can see here, different user interfaces. And I'm using now the 150% version. You see red color, pink color font. I have a white font, so you can change. Some people have trouble with reading red on the screen, so that's also from the original. So I took it white. So you have the layer presets. It's a little bit different from all products, of course, how to select presets. Here you have the banks or the preset. Some pad sounds. You have here is the bangs, so arpeggiator layered, so a combination of arpeggiators. So really a classic synth from that perspective. So all the Albino-3 presets are inside. You get the original Albino-3, but with the right format, the right user interface sizes. So we are also looking in a lot stage if we can make it NKS, but for that we need to create a bank manager. So kind of so these are layered sounds, and then if you go here, then you have drum and bass preset. So that's you build an arpeggiator with chord mode, of course. So that's gonna be inside the Explorer 9, and which will be released in November. Yeah, if you have, it will be compatible. So we make it the case that it will appear on your system after you install it as Albino-3, and it will load in your songs under Albino-3. So in the back panel, you will see it's named Albino 3.5. So it's not the Albino 3.0, but the 3.5, and we call it the Legend. But it will appear in your system as Albino 3. So you would be able to load your songs. So it's compatible with the Limplug. Yeah, that should be working. We'll test that as well, of course. And so this is the beta version. Some of the graphics will still change a little bit. The Legend here is not very nice written, so we have done working on that one. We might have also some new presets. It's the bank manager is not inside of it, because at that time we did not have bank manager. And the presets you select here. Here you have the presets. The top one are the presets. Or are these the banks? No, these are the banks. Sorry, the top is the banks, sequence sounds, and then you go into the... Has its own sound. So it's a bit different from all the other synths. Well, no, we cannot change. So it's really the original one. It will not have the different other filter types. It will have the original filter types from the Albino. So it's really the Albino 3 Legend. It's not a Albino 4, which would have then maybe different filter types or other ideas. One thing, of course, which people always, if you go here in, let me see, maybe to explain this, which was essentially not possible because of the CPU. Let me see if I can find a default preset. Let me see. I need to get used to this as well. No, not there. Demo sounds, I'm not sure about that one. Famous sound. Okay, I'm looking for there. I don't see it. Because what you had with the oscillators, where you had the analog more waveforms, or you had the digital waveforms, which were this one. And people always ask if they could modulate this fader here. You see this waveform? That wasn't possible, which is, of course, what is possible with our other plugins like Predator 3 and also Go2. You could move this around, but it was not available for modulation. So, yeah, that's about the Albino 3. Let's see if I have some questions. So it will load if you have a song with Albino 3, it will load, it will appear as Albino 3, but on the front it will have the legend label, and on the back panel it will show that it is Albino 3.5, and that's so it will have VST3, it will have different user interface sizes, and it's really the classic synthesizer. And of course we are happy for our customers which ask many times for it if we could bring it back, and yes, now it's back thanks to Peter from Lindbergh, who allowed us to purchase the software code. So now it's a fully Rob Papen owned instruments, the team of Rob Papen, which is then myself and John Iris and Sajek. Okay, so now let's go back to the other new product, which of course this one is the classic one. Everybody knows this one, who worked with Albino-3, and the new one is Go2-X. You see, it sounds yeah. So I see question, the price for Explorer 8 to 9 will be still €74 or $74. So, and then you get two new instruments. You get the Albino-3 Legend and the Go2-X. These are the two first products, new products in the Explorer 9 bundle. More will be added later on, but I cannot tell anything about it yet. But these are the two first products in the Explorer 9. So $74 it will cost. And we hope to release it half of November, in the second half of November. So Go2-X, there's a lot about it. Many changes, very cool. So this is the original one, Go2. So what we added in Go2-X compared to this one, we changed it a little bit because that was a little bit hard. If you move the fader here to make this corner up here, we made that straight. So if you record parameters, that is a little bit easier on the Go2-X. So this is the original one, and you see it did grow in size. But still, I think it's a very user-friendly synthesizer because most of the controls are visual. The only page you can switch is essentially the wave page. Yes, you can draw your own waveform in Go2-X. Isn't that cool? The arpeggiator has a lot of new features, but let me start up here. So what's new in the oscillator? Well, here we have animated dials. So if I could connect here the modulation wheel to the oscillator. Let me see, oscillator more. Hey, serious problem. Haha, I crash. Cancel. Yeah, that's still a beta. Why it did crash, I don't know. So it has this animated dials. You see it moving. Oh, down here. So the animated dials are new. And of course, if you think it's annoying, you always can. Dial animation, you can put it on or off. So it's always available to put it off. We added more waveforms. So we have the additive waves, which are standard, but also added many of the waveforms we added, for instance, in Predator 3 and in Blue 3. So many of the new ones. So let me play a few of them. I go to default. So here's the, let's say, sinus waveform. I pick here one of the other ones. Many. You can morph between them, of course. And that's also the difference, of course, logic, because this is a far more newer synth than compared to the Albino-3, is that you can record this. So it could take another one. Now, of course, here you can use this one. Of course, you need to address the X to the morph. This is the morph, and the Y. Now, and what is also new is the warp is... The warp means that if the warp is off, it stops on the... You see, it stops on the top. Here it stops, and if you use warp, you can go beyond, and then it goes back again. So it doesn't go to the max of the waveform, it also goes back if you... So that's the warp feature. So many new waveforms which you can have fun with. And of course you can record this. You can make it visual. You can edit it. Well, these are of course things you know from the original one. You can make it tempo based, so sing to 2 bars, for instance. All these things are of course already in the Go2 or the original one. So now I address to the morph. This is the morph fader. But of course, then there are already some destinations, so you can say to the filter or to the high pass filter if you put it on. So that's also the reason why we don't have this modulation matrix expanded from 8 slots to 12 slots. But you already have here 2 modulations and here 4 modulation targets already available. Of course, I'm now going a bit stranger, so back to the default again. Then I can draw my own user wave. User 1 wave, and here user 2. And here is the page for drawing your own user wave. You can do it in a line. So, so that I make this like this. Draw, it's like this. Erase, I can erase it. So you can do partials. So you can really make your own waveforms. Wave 2 is still then user wave 2. Wave. So you can make, and this you can mix together with, of course, the waveforms which are already here. So this is different in the oscillator section. You still have the spread, which makes from one oscillator a multi-oscillator sound, which makes that you also can make some very nice pads. So I go to pads. All the original Go2 presets are inside of it. And you see here the animation, so here the fader is there, but you see this little... And if you change it to warp, it should continue. So if it hits the max volume as modulation, it goes back instead of staying on the max value. That's the warp. It wraps around. So that's new. Free mode, you also can say don't use free row for the oscillators which are used in the spread. And the other things, yeah, you might know already from Go2. So this is the oscillator section. Many new waveforms, and you can draw your own waveform, waveform 1 and waveform 2. You see? Yeah, then we have the filter section. We have new filter modes. So the zero latency filters are there, filter type 1 and filter type 2. So this also opens a lot of synthesis option. That's new. If you go to the play mode, we have now also MPE, multi-polyphonic expression. So if you have a Rolly keyboard or a, oh, is that other one I can call again? Okay, I don't recall, but if you have a MIDI keyboard which is a multi-polyphonic expression, you can use that one. And what we then also offer is the play log. So if you say, oh, I have a MPE keyboard, you can lock the play mode. So if you go to the next preset, if this next preset is an ARP, it will jump to the multi-polyphonic expression. Yeah, for the Osmose. Yeah, that's a good one. In the yeah, you have it's a 3 oscillator, essentially, only you don't see it. It's the spread. One spread opens, you go from 1 oscillator to 3 oscillators. So one stays in the middle, the other one detune left, right. And so this is about the filter section, many new filters. On the play mode, we have then the play lock, which is a very cool thing. The multi-polyphonic expression. Legato, we have the legato high and low as well. And of course, the arpeggiator. Here you have the keyboards. You can still change between exponential envelopes, which is nice for normal synth sounds. But for pad sounds, you see the linear decay is nice for pad sounds. So here I could pick another different filter. Yeah, the XY you can control here. So the XY you see here, set to the filter. And if you use the right mouse, you can latch to MIDI. So you can MIDI latch this to a MIDI controller for an XY if you have a XY. Yeah, then if you look down here, we have now 2 LFOs. The original Go2 had 1 LFO, and we have 2 free envelopes which you can use. Both are sync, MIDI tempo-based sync. The modulation matrix down here is expanded and has now 12 slots, so a little bit more. And the destinations, that's very interesting, are very extensive. So, for instance, if you use unison with Go2-X, you can detune the unison, the panning of the things you can detune. In the oscillator, you have then some additional, you see, downspreads, semi-tunes. You can do a lot of interesting additional targets. It's very modular from that perspective. So that's expanded. Then another thing is, okay, let me go to a different synth sound. Let me see if I find something else. What should I take? In the Sandbank machine. It has, of course, very nice filters. But you see, this one only uses delay. Let's change it a little bit. But you also, with the original Go2, you only could use delay or reverb, not both. But now we made this a chain where you can also use delay, which you can hear, but also reverb. Yeah, somebody does mention reverse envelope, and then it switches also here so that you see what it does. And you see that essentially if you invert the envelope, so negative amount essentially is that the decay becomes a second kind of attack stage, and the attack becomes a decay stage. Yeah, so that's changed, and you can still use your phaser. That is then always phaser or flanger. So that is between these two. Phaser. And if I goes back, you have a normal. You also can switch to dial mode. So here you have the unison. So this one uses unison 2, which is the you stack essentially with stereo spread, but this one was already inside Go2. And in Go2 what we have is of course the chords that you can, then it's not really unison anymore, but you have then minor chord. Yeah, then we get, of course, to the other thing which is new in Go2-X, which is down here in the arpeggiator. So, let's put it on. What we have here are some features we used also in bit 2. So we have the catch-up on that you can change dynamically the amount of steps. I would set it default to even, but it stops playing, so that's still a bug. Should keep on playing. And that doesn't do yet, so that's still a bug. So that's new inside Go2-X from the original bit 2. And we also have the magic steps, so that you have random. Set random means that it picks steps, and in this case it's only one step. you see step 2. The second run, it stops playing that one, so I can also say set 2 steps random. And this set random means that it picks once 2 steps which doesn't play. You see, it's step 13 and 15. It even installs this in the I hear something odd. Oh, here it is. So this makes that you can make variations. Set random means that it takes the first time 2 random steps, which it doesn't play, but it keeps it the same. So if you save this preset, it always will be with the step 13 and 15 not playing. If you select here the random 2 steps random, it continuously picks different ones. Now it's 6, 11, now it will pick other ones, now it's 15, 16. So it's now set on these steps, but I could also say, okay, I changed the tuning, the semi-tuning, and we picked values which doesn't make different if it's major or minor. So we have the fifth tuning, minus fifth tuning, and octave. So if you could say then, 2 steps go 12 semitones up randomly. Now they come. Here they are. Step 6. And now it's 14, 15. So if I go back here and do set random 2 steps, that means that it picks now 2 of them. Let's see which one. 16 and 15. So 15, 16. And you can also combine it together. So we say change the step on off, but also the tuning. So a lot of cool new features in this arpeggiator, and also ratcheting we have. And also ratcheting, you can have it, the ratcheting mode on velocity. You can have ratcheting cycle on off, and here you can put on then the now it does off and then once on, or only on can also then it does. So these are the new features in Go2-X in the ARP section. You have the steps which you can catch up. Even the loop also offers the option to catch up on step 8. And here you see this little dot, that's the start time. So it starts on step 1, but then goes on step 7 and continues. So you have a lot of additional features which some people might know already from bit 2, which are added to the arpeggiator. So if you would simply go to a preset here, ARP and sequence, take it. You can say, okay, let's do some set random steps, 2 steps, set random. And you see they jump off. So you can easily make variations on the ARP simply by changing. Let's see what happens here. And you see this ARP has chord, but has a lot of tie notes. So only 1, 2, 3, 4 notes are playing essentially, but they are tied. So if you have them set to random, it changes a lot because half of the notes are changed then. So then, of course, yeah, that's also what was cool in Go2 already, is that you have chord set. Here you see on step 6, it selects -7. Chord is this row, which means set means that it takes what is up here in the unison mode, and unison chord mode essentially, but we called it unison because unison chord doesn't fit there. So you see you can have the traditional unison, but also playing chords. So set is off, which means it plays normal on step 1 and 3, but for instance on step 6 you have a -7. Yeah, and then you hear also that the free row here, this free row controls the FX, the reverb. So that is connected here, modulation wheel, reverb length, so I could even change that. ARP free row reverb mix. So the ARP free row, which is here, you see it has on step 11, value 100, then it opens the mix and you should be able to see it. Yeah, here you see it, because the dial is animated. That's cool. The modulation will change the reverb lengths. So I may give it a glitch. So all the original Go2 presets are inside of it, but of course we will have then also new presets in Go2-X. So you see the bank manager is there. You see here we have the, also some Jamal preset. Distortion, oh that's new one also, this one. The distortion is new. We have some different distortion types. So here we can say, do bit crushing. Or first, let's say, I think that one also should be there. Square, that's a nasty one. Let's see. That sounds dirty, isn't it? So these are the different filter types. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Only what you can do with a bit rate, the sample rate. So these are also new compared to the Go2. Yeah, we don't change the price. Go2-X will be still only $49. So it's an amazing, ridiculous good synthesizer for only a few bucks. The upgrade, if you own only Go2, the upgrade will be $25. So if you want to go from Go2 to Go2-X, it's $25. Yeah. Bank Manager will be there at a bit later point. We will also dive in the superb sound. We also changed a little bit the engine on the oscillator part. It's even more refined, although Go2 on its own already was good. So maybe we can causation sequence. Maybe we can play the same sound with the original Go2. Go to Jamal 1, preset 12. So this is with Go2, and now play it with Go2-X. It's a little bit more refined. It's hard to hear, but its brilliance is a little bit better. It will be a little bit more on the CPU, but with today's computer, it's in general not a problem at all. Okay, guys, so yeah, let me know if you have any questions. We did show 2 synths today. Very briefly, the Albino-3 Legend. That one is also still beta. Let's play it here. Let's see. Here we have it. It's a little bit smaller. You can open the layer page here. It's, of course, a synthesizer which is already 15 years. Has its own sound. It's different, and that makes it, of course, cool. But it has all the original Albino-3 presets. If you have a song with Albino-3, it will load in because it will appear as Albino-3. It will have the legend on the front panel, and on the back panel it will say Albino 3.5. So to make it compatible, we kept the that it loads in as an Albino-3. It will, of course, have VST3 support and different user interface sizes. And of course, we are happy to have this classic synth again, and which makes the catalog complete again. So also the features what you had with the different color. You can change, you have the red font for the red color, but some people have some problems using that to read, hard problems reading it. You can even have a pink color, and then we have a white font. So essentially it's the Albino-3, the original one, but with VST3 it will work on your, it will also be M1 compatible, and it, what was the other thing? Yeah, different user interface sizes. Okay, see the question, does Robert Albino do oscillator sync? That's a good one. I need to think about that because it took a time. I think if you go to the analog one, let me see. I'm not sure about that. Oh yeah, well, here it has sync. Yeah, it has sync. Here the oscillator sync. Most likely it synchronizes then to oscillator 1. Yeah, it's different, of course. If you're more used to our latest instruments, this is, of course, an older plugin. Here, down here in the master section, there you select the preset. The banks is the lower part, or the presets part. And then the upper part is more for the banks. It will have, of course, a different sound. It has a... So it's used on many tracks in the years, let's say 15-20 years ago, used in many tracks, and so many people are happy that they have it back and that it will work on their new systems, and that they can use it and use presets they always liked. So we are happy, and our users are also happy. So that's cool. Okay, guys. So yeah, that's the news about what is going to be. Nice sound, isn't it? And the delay. Yeah, so let me check the chat room, and then we're gonna play another demo song by Tom Aldrich. Tom Aldrich did send the drummer to a holiday on the beach, so there's no punch drum inside of it, from what I understand. Yeah, other synthesizers, well, the problem is, of course, the other synthesizers from Limplug, I'm not sure if there's a big demand for it. And the point is, of course, is that we have limited time, and we rather like to spend or time on developing new stuff. And with Albino-3, it's another story because it's really a legendary product. But with the other products, yeah, I think we rather focus on new stuff like this Go2-X and the other things which we are planning. And then you also have the same layout. So now you see Go2-X has in the upper section the presets. You will find your way around because you are used how we build up our plugins. So you always will find the upper section. Yeah, the presets, if you have old Albino-3 patches, you can work with them without no problem. It's essentially yeah, the Albino-3, but with the additional features of having a different user interface and the VST3 support. And then it will install on your new systems, especially on Mac. That is a big issue because Mac changes the OS system about each season, and it's for us a hard job to keep up with everything. Okay, guys, so let's go to Tom Aldrich and his demo, and it's called Drummer's Day Off, and he used... Well, let him tell himself in the chat room what he used. And Tom, thanks for sending in again one. And we see each other next week, Thursday, another live stream. And then we can continue talk about, of course, the upcoming Explorer 9 bundle with Go2-X and the Albino-3 Legend. So here it comes, Tom Aldrich, Drummer's Day Off. Very cool, Tom. Thanks for sending in. Guys, enjoy creating music and stay well. And I see you next week in another live stream. Bye-bye.